There's a big shake-up happening in the tech world, and it's being caused by a new AI model called Deepseek. Deepseek is outperforming other popular large language models in some areas, but the difference is it's all been released open source for free. This has obviously made people pretty skeptical that it's going to be stealing all of their data and sending it to China. And if you use Deepseek on their website, deepseek.com, that's probably happening. But you don't have to go to deepseek.com to use Deepseek AI. You can download the entire model onto your own computer and run it locally for yourself without any internet and without any login, and it'll work just fine. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So Google the word Ollama, just like that. Then download this for Windows. Press download. And once that's finished, run the installer. Okay, install this. And pay attention to where it's installing on your computer. So this directory right here, because once the installer is finished, we're going to need to go there. So we'll start getting that directory ready. So we're wanting to go to this directory right here. Once the install is finished, we'll go there. Go to where Ollama is installed, and there it is, ollama.exe. Clicking this doesn't really do anything, because this is a command line tool, as it tells you. So what we're going to have to do now is create a new text document. You can use Notepad or whatever you want. And then call this whatever you want. Get your text editor open, and back on the Ollama website, go to models. And then here it will show all the different large language models that you can download. We're interested in Deepseek, so click on that one. And then you just have to choose what size of Deepseek you want. Do you want it 1.5 billion tokens, 7 billion tokens, etc.? The more tokens you choose, the smarter the model will be, but it will also run a lot slower on your computer, and it will take up a larger download size, which is that's what that number on the right column is the download size. I'm going to go to 7 billion, and that updates this command here on the right. So just copy that with the copy to clipboard button, head back to your text document and drop the command in there. That's it. Just save that text document. You can close it. And now back in our directory, to make this text document into something we can run, change the extension from txt to .bat. Okay, this will convert that text document into a batch file. If you can't change your file extensions like I did here, if they're all hidden, all you need to do is go to Folder Options through your Start menu. Okay, and then in View, there will be a hide extensions of known file types. I think this is on by default, so just turn that off, and now suddenly everything will have .exe and .bat and .txt and all those things at the end, and you can freely change them and make things behave differently. So that when you press this, it will open a command window with the command that we just copied from ollama.com, and it will run it automatically using the ollama.exe. And as you can see, we now have Deepseek loaded. If it's the first time running that, it will actually download the Deepseek model that you selected to your computer before running it, and then you can start asking it questions. Now you can put that somewhere way more convenient than this folder that's buried deep within your directories somewhere, and just send it to desktop and maybe put it with your other internet related applications. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to crawl underneath my desk, and I'm going to unplug my internet. Okay, so now I have no internet connected to my computer. There's no Wi-Fi or anything like that. So we're not on the internet. I'll relaunch the Deepseek model, because because it's installed on my computer, like I said. And then we'll just give it a simple question. Okay. And there it goes. Now, Deepseek is released under the MIT license, which means that, as it says here, permission is hereby granted free of charge to any person obtaining a copy of this software, that you can deal in the software without restriction, including without limitation to the rights to use, copy, modify, merge, publish, distribute, sublicense, or sell copies of the software. So if you wanted, you could go and sell your own copy of Deepseek. Not that anyone would buy it because they can just get it themselves for free, but you're allowed to do that. You've probably noticed that there's a massive rush on AI at the moment in the business world. And what this means practically is that tech companies and startups are buying and building data centers all around the world that are full of just incredibly power hungry hardware from largely NVIDIA. This is a big problem because the projections are showing that by 2026, the amount of electrical energy being used by these AI data centers is going to be the same as what the entire nation of Japan uses. Generating the electricity that we use is like globally the biggest, by a long shot, the biggest source of greenhouse gases and causing all sorts of side effects in the environment in terms of climate change. So while we should be looking at trying to generate energy in ways that doesn't fill the air with smoke, on reducing combustion and burning of fossil fuels, and in making our systems, our computers, our everything that more efficient so that it uses less electricity, reducing electricity demand, what AI has done is the opposite of that, and it has just come in out of the blue and dumped an entire country's worth of electrical energy usage on top of this planet that is already using too much energy and generating too much environmental harm through what we do. And a frustrating thing about that is there was no opt-in. Manufacturers like Apple, Samsung, Google, and so on, they just started building AI into their phones, into their websites. Whenever you go to Google anything now, it's being fed straight to an AI first thing. That's the first result you get. There was no one got asked whether they wanted that or not. It's not a choice really. The way I see it is that, for our future and for our environment, we need to see this AI bubble burst as soon as possible. And if you can get all of the utility that you need out of a large language model from something that's running on hardware that you already own, that's in your house, it's not running on a big data center somewhere else in the world, then that is going to go some way towards reducing the demand on those data centers, and using a free model as well hopefully scales back the amount of cash flow going to companies like OpenAI, because their profitability is essentially a signal to the rest of the hype train that is pumping up the AI bubble. So when things start looking bad for any of the big players, then that's how things are going to shift. And this trend, this environmentally damaging trend, could maybe be stopped there. And the expansion of power hungry hardware into data centers could hopefully be stopped or slowed down somewhat. So that's why I think that this is something you should give a go to, and make sure that if you do install DeepSeek, the next step would be then to stop using other large language models, especially if you pay for them. So that's my rant over. I hope this video was nice and accessible and comprehensive, and I hope you get something out of it. Thanks for watching.